Yes, it's come to that point already. Top fives. Well, it seems like an easy bit of content to do, and given that this is supposed to be a daily vlog, not every day is going to be the most stellar vlog ever, is it? So, it's time for my top five. Is it a top five? It's more like five random useful bits of self-hosted software. Just a little thing about what self-hosted actually means. So, you can't really see it. Can I rotate the camera slightly? No, you still can't see it. About there, in the corner of the room, in not a great location really, is my server. And on my server, I have a number of virtual machines running. That's a story for another day. And, well, part of the reason that I bought it is so I could tinker with it. And self-hosting essentially means, you know, all those cloud-based software that you use on a regular basis, things like Google Drive and what else do people use? Gosh, come on brain, help me out. I can't think of any examples off the top of my head. Basically, software as a service that you use online is like having a web app, but it's hosted in your own infrastructure. So all the benefits of the web app, but you have control over all the data. And for example, if a service was to shut down, you'd lose everything, but not if you're self-hosting it. It's all yours. You also don't have to pay regular subscription fees. Sometimes you might have to pay a fee of some description, but it's mostly things like open source software that takes donations. So with all that said, I'm going to just do a quick rundown of my five pieces of software that I use on a regular basis. And the first one I want to talk about is a thing called Homer, which it's just this really simple dashboard that you can have, and it is a really easy way to link to all of the services that you use. It's just a home page, and that's why it's called Homer, I guess. There's nothing really fancy about it. There's a lot of different dashboards and home pages that you can get that have monitoring, and they have graphs and things, and maybe I'll set one of those up in the future at some point, but this one is really straightforward. I just add a link to it and put an icon on, and I can access all my stuff really easily. Super easy to configure. It's great. I like it a lot. On number 2 on my list is Azuracast. Now, I run a retro gaming radio station. It's a very simple thing. There's not much to it, but I had a very specific setup that I had in mind, whereby every so often an advert or a piece of news will play, but it's all stuff either from video games or adverts about video games. I got the idea from Lego Island with the radio stuff that's got. Initially, I had it all set up manually with Icecast and a program that fed the songs in and the adverts, and I just couldn't get it to work right at all. And then I came across Azuracast, which could do it all for me, and it was really, really easy. With a fantastic user interface. There's a few little features that are missing that I would like to have, but 99% of it is absolutely fantastic. And if you want to run a little radio station of some description, I would say do it with Azuracast. It's pretty easy to set up, lightweight, and all you need to do is shove some songs in it and away you go. Okay, number 3 is a thing called Navidrome. Again, it's to do with music, particularly broadcasting music, but not really radio. It's more to do with having your music collection wherever you go. It's kind of like your own Spotify, if that's a good way to think about it. I like it. It's pretty much Spotify, but in your own home. And actually, it's got some particularly nice features about it. I can't think of them off the top of my head, and that's troubling. My login isn't even working, but don't worry about that. The thing that I like about it is the fact that it works, and something that I was particularly interested in is, I put my 90% of my music collection in. I didn't put everything in there because, I'm not limited on space. I can't have every single thing. But it was interesting to see. It gives you a readout of what your top artists are in terms of how many songs and albums you got by them. I found that quite fascinating. Let me try and log in and I can tell you exactly what the numbers are. Artists. Yeah, here we go. So I can do it by song count and by album count. And the top 4 remain the same, but 3rd and 4th place switch depending on if I'm doing albums or songs. So the top 2 they're tied for both. They're tied for top place in terms of albums. It's Jethro Tull and Rush. And then the next one is Robert Plant, and then after that is Led Zeppelin. But in terms of songs, Jethro Tull takes the trophy by a country mile. I've got 252 songs by them, and only 151 by Rush. And then 147 by Led Zeppelin, so they're number 3, and then Robert Plant comes in at number 4. Thought you might be interested in that. It's a nice feature. I have to say I haven't tried it yet remotely. I've only ever tried it within my network because there's some stuff I've got to set up to be able to access it remotely. But as it stands, I really like it, and it actually has a proper shuffle feature which Spotify does not have. So that's that. Next, Phantom Bot. Now, Twitch bots, very niche, not for everybody. Not like a music player or a radio. Well, I guess radio stations are even more niche. But music players are pretty general purpose. Twitch bot, not so much. But if you've got the capability, if you've got a Raspberry Pi knocking about, you do a Twitch stream and you fancy doing a bit of tinkering, use flipping Phantom Bot. It does all the stuff that the likes of MooBot and what are the other bots? Nightbot is another one. There's also Ankbot, which is based on Phantom Bot, I'm pretty sure. Maybe I think that's got a different name now. But yeah, Phantom Bot can do pretty much everything that the premium paid bots can do, just as long as you host it yourself, which I think is a fair trade-off. It does take a little bit more configuration to put together, but I really like it. It's reliable, particularly if you use the Docker version, which is another topic. And they're adding new features all the time, and there's one that my viewers particularly like. It's the sound effect player, and there's one sound effect in particular that they enjoy.
Hooray!
Yeah, it's a good bot. And if you have need for a Twitch bot, then it's definitely worth having. And I'm going to have to wrap this up quickly. The final one, Silver Bullet. I've been using an app for ages called Obsidian, which is a program that you have on your computer. And I kind of wanted something like that I could have self-hosted on my server. And Silver Bullet does seem to be that program. Again, not used it a massive amount, but the bit that I have used it is pretty much Obsidian, but as a web app. So the idea is that you can have, it's like your own personal knowledge base, but it's all written in Markdown. So Markdown is a really useful note-taking language. I guess it's a bit like HTML, but really, really simplified. I haven't found out a way to have I haven't worked out a way to have images in articles just yet, but everything else works really, really great. And there's all sorts of plugins you can get for it to extend it. Yeah, really nice, really simple note-taking app. And brilliant for people who have, for example, massive sci-fi universes that they need to keep track of and need a really simple, straightforward way of doing so. Okay, I need to wrap this up because this has gone on for a bit longer than I expected and don't want to go over 10 minutes again. So, thank you for watching and I'll see you all tomorrow.